Hey readers, do you know what's special about reading a mystery book? When you're reading a mystery book readers often use specialized language when it comes to talking about their books. And it helps them to learn more about the genre of mystery, which is really unique. Now, you're going to notice that we're coming back to an anchor chart that we started with back last week. This anchor chart talked about things that make a mystery. Today, we're going to talk about how we can talk like a detective in our mystery books and understand the meaning of different mystery vocabulary that we're going to see. Here are a couple words of mystery and detective vocabulary that you might run into in your book or in your book club conversations. You might want to make sure you're using these. You might find in your books that we find the word evidence. We talk about evidence all the time in the classroom. You need to use evidence to prove your thinking in science, or evidence in writing and math to prove what you're thinking. Evidence, when you're a detective, is thinking all about what you're finding to help you to solve the mystery. Maybe as you're solving the mystery, you find a footprint in the mud, or maybe you find something left behind from whoever did the mystery. Those are pieces of evidence. I want you to watch for evidence in your books. You also, when you're talking about like a detective, you might find the word patterns. Mystery books often have a lot of different patterns that you're going to see. And you have to watch for these patterns because they're going to give us little clues about what might be happening next or what we might be finding next. You also might hear the word alibi or choose to use it in your book club conversations. When somebody gives an alibi, it's kind of their way of saying, I didn't do it. So we want to know the people that we're worried about in the mystery. They might give an alibi and say, well, I couldn't have stolen that because I was at my friend's house when I was doing that time. We call that alibi, that kind of the story that they're telling. Whether it's true or not, we're not always sure. In your books, you might find your characters giving alibis to the story to try to not get caught from what's going on. Here's some more words for a detective vocabulary. You might find a suspect. Can you think about what suspect means? You might have known this already. And that suspect is that person that they're assuming did it. Oftentimes, we're going to see that suspect maybe not actually be the right person that did the crime in the end. Finally, we have two more. We also have the word motive. A lot of times in a mystery, somebody does something for a reason. Maybe they chose to steal something because they wanted it. Maybe they chose to do something else for a totally other reason. In a mystery, we're always searching for the motive. Why did somebody want something to happen? Let's jot that down so we don't forget. Why something happened. We call that the motive behind what somebody's doing. Now, the final one might be a term that you go, I have never heard of that before. We also have the word red herring. Are you kind of making a face of, wait, red herring? What's that? A red herring is a really special mystery term. It actually pops up often in a mystery. A red herring is a clue that tries to kind of trick the reader. We call that a misleading clue. Often in mysteries, you're going to find that there are clues put in there that make you think it's this person that did the mystery, when in reality, it's really totally somebody else. We call those tricky clues a red herring. Readers, we're going to want to use all of this amazing detective vocabulary as you're working through and becoming a mystery detective. Remember all of those amazing words that we just talked about? In your packets of your detectives journals that you received earlier this week, you're going to notice we have our vocabulary section. We've already added for you the terms that we talked about earlier. You might choose to add more information about each of these terms, or you'll notice we have some space below. Today, as you're working, you might think about other terms that you notice in your mystery books or things that really connect with mystery to help you to talk more like a detective. Remember, this is another great tool for you to help you while you're reading. So take some time if you think of other vocabulary words to continue to fill up our spots, and you can always add more bullet points. Your task today. You're going to go off and get your mystery book. You need to read the pages that are assigned to you in your mystery book. And don't forget about that great detective journal. Not only can you work on the vocabulary, but you can also go back and fill in any of these other pages to help you to keep track of those tricky mysteries as you read. Detectives, happy searching, and we can't wait to figure out what you found as you guys were investigating.